Welcome to Lifestyles of the Strange and Exotic Movie Review. And I shall be Why do I want to say removing? I will be reviewing and removing the need to review it. Kingsclaive Final Fantasy 15. Now, I'm not a console gamer because, every game that I possibly would want is either really, really expensive or on a console that I probably couldn't afford anyway. So, and I am a PC gamer, that is where my heart lies. But I think you can get 15 for the PC. I'm not quite sure. And I'm not quite sure if my PC would be able to handle it anyway, so it's like, whatever. So I rely and live vicariously through the good folks at YouTube who make movies out of video games. And I am so forever grateful because some of the best movies that I watch are the cutscenes from the video games, and there's a few people here that I rely on. It's Izuni, Danceco 8, and Gamers Little Playground, because their movies are the most cohesive and make more sense, and they kind of, they know what they're doing. So, and I'm waiting for Danceco 8 to do the movie version of 15, because I think it'll be a little better than the one I found. Anywho, came across 15 on YouTube, and I might have heard a little bit here and there, as it was coming out. So I'm like, okay, well, I love 13. Let's see. I don't think I've seen them in order. But I've seen 10, and I've seen 10 too. 10 is okay. Titus kind of grew on me. Waka, you kind of wanted to slap a few times. But it was a good movie, and it looks like it would have been a fun game to play. So okay, watched that, really enjoyed that, and then I got, I think how I came across it was when I came across Advent Children, and it was the graphics that caught me. I mean, it was like, I literally, if it wasn't Advent Children, it was the one with the ghosts whose name I can't remember, but it was the one nobody likes, and I'm like, looking at the cover going, is this a real person? Is it CG? It was that weird, and you didn't quite know. So it was just beautiful to look at, and then when you watch Advent Children, and you're like drooling over Sephiroth, I was like, and then when I got a chance to, be on YouTube and have an account where I can, watch things, and I managed to watch 13. I don't know what the hell. Oh, is 12 the one with the sky ships? There's a few of them that I've watched that are so forgettable that I'm like, meh. But 13 came around. Loved the story to 13. Love the characters. Yes, I like Lightning. I understand the woman. People bitch, oh, Lightning's so boring. And it's like, do you realize the context that she's in? Her parents are gone. She's probably had to raise Sarah since God knows how old, like a little kid. And it explains it in 13.3. So I understand Lightning, so... And I love Zaz, so it's really funny to have the really stoic Lightning with the really fun-loving Zaz, And it was just a great story. And, loved it. Great ending. And then 13.2 happened. I'll have to admit, never cared for Sarah. So 13.2 did not need to happen. Only two things saved 13.2 for me. The fact that I liked Noel, and Adult Hope was hot. So... still a shot of hope. So, in 13.3 was awesome. And the ending was the feels. So I'm like, okay, that's what I was kind of, that's sort of my pinnacle of Final Fantasy things. And I think the next one that came out was Type 0, and I kind of started watching that movie, but I was like, that didn't grab me. So I'm like, okay, 15 comes out. Well, it's kind of interesting. I've been hearing things about it. It was supposed to be 15 versus 13, and I still don't understand the concept behind that. So I watched it. I think 15 is by far my favorite FF movie. And I just love the characters and the mixture, and Prompto, I kind of wasn't feeling it. He was kind of annoying at first, and then I saw Brotherhood, and you kind of realize, it's like, okay, now I got to know you a little bit better. And then, the stories behind everybody, which is really cool. If whatever you're missing in the game, you could probably get through Brotherhood. So, So I love it, and I am Team Ignis. Ignis has my heart. I'm sorry. I've got dibs on Iggy. I mean, he's like dapper and badass at the same time, and I just want Iggy is so cute. So, so when I've been drooling over that lately, and then I've, figured, okay, well, Kingsclaive, I guess, was a movie that was in the theaters, but I don't know if it was countrywide, because I never saw any, like, trailers or heard anything about it up here, but then we're the bunghole in New England anyways. So I'm like, for the hell of it, it's been out a while, I'm gonna see maybe if it's on DVD. It was. It was mine for, what, $15? Except that was sad it wasn't a Voodoo one where you could, like, have a digital copy, but considering Sony and their DLCs and all that stuff, I'm sure they want to make you buy extra. And this is the prequel, basically. So this sets up the whole world pre-video game. And it literally leads straight into the game. So I would suggest watching or playing the video game first. And if you're interested enough in the characters, maybe watch Brotherhood and then watch this. Because if you watch this on its own, you're kind of like, it's a good movie, but as far as like connecting it to the game, you're kind of like, eh? Because if you play the game first and you realize the stakes and you understand the costs and the consequences, and you realize the point of the thing, you look back at this and it gives it more substance. You would already have the right base of reference than whether you did it backwards, because it's like, okay, well, these guys are at war, whoop-de-doo, and then there's a prince and whoop-de-doo. It makes a better addition to the world if you go that way. So, to work off my nudes, visuals are different than but you will realize that even the pre-rendered scenes in FF15, the video game, are gonna look different than the movie, because it's a different kind of, you can spend more time in the details, so the visuals, the just graphics of this movie are like, again, I mean, you still sort of have that video game falseness, but it was just beautiful to look at. And like every other note's like, good God, the graphics, good God, I mean, it's just a beautiful game to look at, and a beautiful movie. And with the movie, you get to enjoy the environments more, because of course in the video game, you're always on the move, you're going through, Tenebrae and all these other places. You don't really get to stop, per se, or at least watching the movie. In the video games, actually playing it might be a little different, but you don't really get to see the scope of the world or whatever. Here you kind of do, and you can kind of interact with it a little more. It's like more like a movie set. And and what caught me, why I really kind of wanted to pick this up, was Arden. I hate Arden. He's kind of like the Starscream of the video game, where you hate him, but there's that little tiny piece of you that likes him. And he's so realistic looking, and it's the same voice actor in the game than in the movie, and he's got that, he's just, I can't even explain it. It's just that scene with Arden and the king, and he's there, and it's just the personality and the body movements, and it's all mocap, but with everything, it's just beautiful how it's done. And the city, to actually, this takes place in, it's not Niflheim, but the Crown City anyways, of Insomnia, and you get to be in amongst the city. You see the buildings, and you see the people, and you interact with the people, and not necessarily like, hey, hi, Bob, you're walking by, Bob, it feels alive, and it's almost kind of like a Star Wars-esque, where it's like a lived-in universe. The city feels so real, and there's so much dimension, and it's beautiful, and it's just amazing to look at, and to know it's all CG, it's just, and the lip syncing is impressive. And I was watching Angry Joe's, I think, review there, going, well, it's all done in Japanese. It's all starting in Japan, and then they send it over here. Well, this is dubbed in English. Their lip movements are for English words. So even he wasn't sure whether it's like, well, is there two versions where they lip sync it to Japanese, and then for the Western audiences they lip sync it in, you know, American or English. So it's, some places are a little kind of like what, but for the most part it's just wow. Seriously, wow. And again, it's mocap where they actually have like little dots on their face, so you can kind of motion cap their expressions and the, you know. But even still, well, I guess because there's like this thing that hangs off their head that might get like the eye movements too, because even that's very natural, you know. It's amazing what they do now. And even back in 15, when they bring out the Knight's Guard or the King's Guard or the, you know, Kingsclaive, they're sort of the Knights of Crown City, that outfit. I love the outfit. I'm like, I want that outfit, damn it. Especially those boots. It's like, oh. You got that, yeah, I don't know if you can kind of, you can't really see it in here, darn it. I have a picture because it's such an awesome outfit. Don't even see the, well, you can't even see the girl either, but it's just, it's kind of like, George Washington era, kind of buttoned up, and is like, just, oh, I love the outfit. I'm like drooling over the boots. And it does go into a bit more depth with like Luna and Ravis, where you don't really see much of them in the game, even though especially Luna's a very important part, and Ravis is just sort of there. It goes a little bit more into the depth of the relationship and how they fit in. And again, back to the graphics. Oh, the cars in this game. And I'm not just talking the regalia. I'm talking just your frickin', like, Noctis, I guess, has his own car and shit. It's in the detailing. There's these, like, filigree. It's like filigree rims, and there's like detailing that's filigree, and it's just so gorgeous. Can you tell? I'm like, oh, just beautiful. Oh, and I kind of mentioned that already. And I did come in to Kingsclaive with the mindset that it was animation, that I wasn't looking at it as like a live action movie. They're two very different monsters, so you know, that's why my brain just out of my ears to know that it's CG, it's an animation, it's beautiful. When it's done seriously, this is the type of animation that it's like, wow, not, you know, Mickey Mouse type crap, you know, which is pretty much, you know, standard Western fare. One major gripe about the movie was, fortunately, it wasn't too distracting, but it just didn't need to be there. They could have cut all scenes with the rebels and nobody would miss it. It did not need to happen. It's like, okay, not everybody's going to love King Regis, and the, you know, people are never going to be happy with the government. There's going to be, and they might have legitimate reasons. Don't know what the hell these rebels' reasons were. Apparently, it was like 5 scenes. Oh, there's a rebel. One of the good guys kind of meets the rebels. They kind of do stupid stuff, and it was like, what? It did not need. It was totally pointless, but it wasn't there enough to notice it. Go, this didn't need to be here, and then it moved on. Okay. Another thing though, there's a character in the game called Kor, who is sort of King Regis's chief of the knights, basically. He was apparently an important bodyguard. It's kind of stupid in the game, where wish I could have saved your, you know, helped your father, and, you know, did more and did this, and then he just sort of goes and deals with the Nifs, doesn't even help Noct. So it's like, well, it would made sense if that character was in this movie. It would give a little more depth to Kor and kind of back up what he said in the game, even if he wasn't like, you know, like, even if he wasn't the main character, even if he was just part of that somehow. It's just, there's a lost opportunity there, I think. And the action in this movie too. I mean, yes, it's pretty to look at, you know, and all this stuff, but it's a great action flick. You know, there's a lot going on. It, it's just awesome. It's like I must vomit the awesome at you. So, I loved it. I totally enjoyed it. So worth the money I paid for it. And again, the characters are going to look a little different in the movie than they are in the video game. Because, Lunafreya doesn't quite look like this in the video game. King Regis looks perfect, though. He's exactly the same in the game that he is here. The other characters aren't in the game. You do see Ravis a bit. So it goes... Exciting action scenes. Definitely true. Aaron Paul, Sean Bean, who played Boromir in Lord of the Rings, if you didn't know, plays the king. And Lena Headey, who I guess is Lunafreya, deliver incredible emotional performances. The magical kingdom of Lucius is home to the Sacred Crystal, a staple in the Final Fantasy franchise, and the menacing empire of Niflheim is determined to steal it. And it's very hard to, it's like, Niflheim is basically like the Empire, like Darth Vader, the Empire, that type of thing, but with a name like Niflheim, it kind of like...
Most of our shit, leaving one last remaining.
There we go. Okay. King Regis of Lucius, Sean Bean in this one, commands the elite force of soldiers called the Kingsclaive. Wielding their king's magic, Nyx, Aaron Paul, and his fellow soldiers fight to protect Lucius, which is sort of the last kingdom standing against the Empire. As the overwhelming military might of the Empire bears down, King Regis is faced with an impossible ultimatum: to marry his son Prince Noctis to Princess Lunafreya of Tenebrae, captive of Niflheim, and surrenders lands to the Empire's rule. Although the king concedes, it becomes clear that the Empire will stop at nothing to achieve their devious goals, with only the Kingsclaive standing between them and world domination. I don't know if you can see that car there, but oh my god. So yeah, it sets up the world, and basically there's a scene in the game where you're looking as the characters, as Noct and his posse, to the city, and they kind of find out that, this was going on. So basically, that scene, Noct is watching the movie, basically. So everything that had happened, they don't kind of go into it because there's your answer. Noct is like, what the hell's going on? Well, here's your answer, Noct. So, totally highly recommend this. I mean, it's good if you know the game and, watch the game movies here on YouTube or whatever. I mean, it'll open up the world, but even standing alone, if you like action games, not action games, but action movies, beautiful animation, love this. So, 2 thumbs up in my book. Now, I kind of would have liked to have seen, the movie version of, like, Gladdy and Iggy and, the gang. But sadly, you don't get that until, like, the end. So, thank you for watching my apparently 19 minutes of gushing. So, thank you for watching. Do remember to comment, rate, share, and subscribe. There's always room for one more at the Strange and Exotic. See you next time. Bye.